Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anyuman Sutrini with student ID number 211202139. And in this presentation, I will talk about grammar translation method. Alright, so first I'm going to talk about grammar translation method. So what is grammar translation method? According to Larson Freeman 2010, the grammar translation method is a classic method because this method adopts techniques in teaching Latin and Greek. This method focuses more on the rules of reading and writing compared to listening and speaking skills. The primary purpose of this method is to enrich their literature and language reading proficiency. And it was also hoped that through the study of the grammar of the target language, students would become more familiar with the grammar of their native language. And this familiarity would help them to speak and write their native language better. Okay, next let's talk about the characteristics of GTM. So first, grammar translation method is help the students to read. Second, in GTM, reading and writing skills are more focused than listening and speaking. Third, the choice of vocabulary depends on the reading text used. Number 4, the primary activity is translating from the target language into the mother language and vice versa. Number 5, students are expected to be able to have a high standard of proficiency in translating. Number 6, grammar is taught deductively, and before moving on to the example, the teacher provides a detailed explanation of the language formula and patterns. Number 7, students carry out activities according to what is instructed by the teacher. Next, grammar translation method is teacher-centered approach, in which most of the interaction comes from the teacher to student. And lastly, mother language is allowed in this method. Now, I'm going to explain teaching techniques that use grammar translation method. So there are several teaching techniques that use the grammar translation method. Number 1 is translation of a literary passage. In these techniques, the students are required to translate text from the target language to their mother language. Number 2 is reading comprehension questions. In these techniques, once students are given a text, they will be given a question to answer. Number 3 is antonym or synonym. In this technique, the students will be given a list of words, then they have to find the antonym or synonyms of the word. Number 4 is cognate. So students are required to find similar spellings or sound patterns from the target language to the mother language. Number 5 is deductive application rule. The teacher explains the grammar rules and give the examples. Then, after students understand, they are asked to apply it to their examples. Number 6 is fill in the blank. So students are given a set of sentences, but there are some blanks and the student must fill the blanks with the word. Next is memorization. Students are given a list of words and the meanings in their native language. Next, we have use word in sentences. So students are asked to make a sentence with words that they learn from a text. Next is composition. Students make a summary of a text or they can be given a topic. Now, after we talk about several teaching techniques that use grammar translation method, now let's talk about the strengths and the weaknesses of grammar translation method. Let's start it from the strengths. So first, GTM method is the simplest way to explain a word from one language to another. Secondly, this method can reduce the teacher's fatigue. Third, it helps students to master the grammar well. Next, GTM also helps students to improve the reading and writing proficiency of the targeted language. The fifth, GTM can provide a challenging classroom environment. And lastly, this method is appropriately used in building students' understanding because the students learn from reading. But there are also some disadvantages or weaknesses of GTM. First, teaching with the GTM method is not natural because it starts with reading, where the sequence should be listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And the learners can develop the reading and writing skills, but they fail to communicate with the real world. So, everyone, to summarize, grammar translation method is a method that more focus on reading and writing skills. And in GTM, mother language is allowed to use. Alright everyone, that's all the material about grammar translation method that I can explain. Thank you so much for your attention and have a good day.